Sorry for the heater in the background, but it's very cold in this room at this moment, so you'll probably be hearing that throughout this video. So I am doing a video today on the difference between, or what to expect technically, between going from a community college to a 4-year university. As a transfer student myself, the experience has been a whole lot different, but I know that when I was at community college, I just really was kind of like nervous because a campus, like a big university campus, is so different. So I wrote down some things that I think would be really helpful to note when you become a transfer student to a 4-year university. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started on some points. So kind of like one of the big things when you're first starting to transfer is you go to like orientation, you get like a tour around the school and all that, which is nice because campus is usually a whole lot bigger, unless you're going to a campus that's smaller. Like for example, the University of Washington has 3 different campuses. They have their main campus, Seattle, which is their largest campus, and then they have 2 other campuses, one in Tacoma and one in Bothell. So I go to the Seattle campus, and it's just like the biggest campus. You can't really even find anyone, so I don't really care much about you guys knowing where I go, because good luck finding me, because I'm only there for like an hour and then I leave. But yeah, so the Seattle campus is really huge, but my brothers went to the Tacoma campus, and I've been on that campus too, which is a whole lot smaller, and the experience is completely different. Like the teachers are the same, and like the education is pretty much the same. There's only like small differences between the Seattle and Tacoma campus. So I mean, I guess it just depends on whether or not you want to go to a smaller, closer campus and whether you're living there or not. So another topic that I want to really bring up was transportation. So I, for example, do not live in Seattle. I do not live on the university property or anything like that, so I'm a commuter. So my experience being a commuter is completely different from someone who's actually living there. So I can't really speak to life on campus because I don't spend enough time on campus to really be able to talk about like dorms and stuff like that, because I honestly don't know a lot about that stuff. So I'm just gonna tell you guys stuff that I know through my point of view, which is, Cyclone's going crazy over there. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of like all over the place. Okay, so when you first transfer, you have a certain amount of credits, and that's really important to point out. So when you transfer, you're already gonna have like, I don't know, maybe 80 credits. And that first quarter there, you're gonna have to figure out what your major is, and that can be a tad bit stressful, especially if you don't know. So I suggest that when you do your orientation thing over the summers, you get an advisor, and you actually get to talk to them, and they are general advisors. And you may not know exactly what your major is or what you want to be, so I just got to say with that, you need to like talk to them and figure out what you kind of want to do, because once you hit a certain amount of credits, I think for Seattle it's like 100 or 90, 93, but as soon as you hit a certain reach of credits, they will put you on hold and you have to declare a major, and they can give you an extension, but it's better just to declare a major and, you know, declare a major and just switch later if that's not what you want to do. And then another thing is that there's 2 different types of majors. There are competitive majors and there are open majors. Open majors means pretty much they're like the easiest majors to get into. For example, my minor, history, is an open major, so if I wanted to major in history, I just fill out the paperwork, and I'm done. I major in history, it's done, it's good, I don't have to do anything. But my actual major, which is Law, Society, and Justice, is it's a competitive major, and with competitive majors, you usually have to go through some sort of like application process. You have to take a certain amount of their core classes in order to apply. So for example, when I transferred my first quarter there, I took 3 of their core classes, which is important. And then during winter, I applied to get in, and I was taking a couple more classes, and that application process is pretty simple. I mean, Cyclone, stop it. Stop it. Stop! Sit! So that application process is pretty much you just kind of, you have to write a mini essay of like, I don't know, like 100, 1,000, 700 words, something like that. And you turn it in, and then that's how you apply pretty much. You have to write a little like essay about why you believe that this major is right for you and such. So that's one really important thing. As for like the books, I mean, books can be kind of expensive, and it's really like, I feel like the books that you get at community college are like the same level of books that you get in these classes too. But one thing to note that's also important is that the type of books that you get can be different. Like, I remember when I was in community college, the books that I would get, they were like really like course selective and course manuals. But I've noticed now that, oh, bless you, I've noticed now that the books that I get in college are more actual like books, like reading books. But it might be because of the classes that I'm taking in college, which are more focused. So speaking about classes are definitely different from community colleges. Some of like the main core classes, which what they call them are like 200 level classes, are the ones that everybody sees in like movies, that they have like hundreds of people and you don't really get to talk to anyone and not, at least not have that close contact with your teacher. So there's that, and those are just 200 levels. As soon as you declare a major, you get put into like smaller classes. Like with my major, I've had a class with only like 9 other people in it, and those are like the 300, 400 level classes. So as soon as you declare a major, you're able to get into these smaller classes where you can have a communication or a good line of communication with your teacher. But another thing to point out is you don't exactly get graded on all the homework you do. I mean, teachers are different, so it really depends. You can get graded on being there, on participating. You can get graded on all those things. Some teachers don't grade on that at all. Some people don't even take attendance. Like, it's all kind of like up to the teacher. And then another important thing that's really different from community college is that teachers have teacher assistants, and the teacher assistant are usually the people that, or the person that grades your work and then grades your tests. So if you need like help with questions or anything like that, you go to your TA, your teacher's assistant, and they're the ones who, you know, grade you. So if you have any questions, you go to them. Your teacher just kind of teaches you. TA does all the grading, because I'm pretty sure that's like what they're going to be. They're going to be teachers. Cyclone is being a brat. Yeah, I mean, that's who grades you, and it can be kind of frustrating sometimes, but there's always things like office hours, which I know they had in community college at office hours, but now they also have office hours. Another difference is when you're taking one of the 200 level classes that you have like 100 people in, they also have TAs, but usually they have 1 or 2, and you'll take like a small little section with them, and that'll just be like on the opposite day. So let's say you have a class on Monday and Wednesday, you will meet with your TA for like about an hour every Tuesday and Friday, or Tuesday and Thursday, depending on what time they have it. It's usually like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all like the TA stuff. The grading is a tad bit different because everything focuses on your test. So if like you have a midterm and then you have a final, and that's usually it. Sometimes you usually have like a paper to write. So you get graded on like those 3 things. Sometimes they make you do like weekly responses, which they can grade you on. But the main difference is that they really don't really hold your hand. Like, it's up to you to do the work. Versus in community college, I felt like they were really holding your hand. They were really like pushing you to do things. They were just like trying to get you to accustomed to certain things. In my community college, I remember that one of my history teachers really liked setting his class like it was like a 4-year university, so you get used to that setting where you just get graded on tests, not like in high school where you have to do your homework and they grade you on your homework, because they don't. Like, everything's up to you. All the readings are up to you to do. You need to be responsible with that. I personally do all my readings. Sometimes if I don't have enough time and I'm not able to read one of them, I will like not read it, but then of course later on when I have time, I will go through and read it, because that's usually what their tests focus on. They focus on your reading and what you learn in class. So it's really important to show up to class all the time because you're paying for it. So it's really on you to show up, get good grades. And honestly, a lot of the things that they do aren't even like necessarily that hard. And then another cool thing about when you declare a major is that you also get your own like advisor, a major advisor. So they usually help you like go through your process of how you're going to graduate from that major that you chose. It's really nice, it's really helpful, and I mean, I love my major. Her name's Alyssa. She is amazing and she makes my life a whole lot easier, and it's really nice to have that. So like I said, there are a couple of other things like activities that you get to do that you don't necessarily get to do in community colleges, as well as like studying abroad. You don't get to study abroad when you're in community college, but you do get that opportunity when you are going to a four-year university, and that's like always a great thing to look into if you're interested in that. I am very interested in studying abroad, but as of right now, I'm not gonna plan to study abroad just because there's a lot of issues in the world, and the places that I want to study abroad in are like really enveloped in these really big problems, and I just don't think I would feel safe enough to study abroad in those places right now. So I think I'm just gonna like wait until like everything calms down, and eventually I can study abroad because I do plan on going to graduate school, and that's like the next step. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, me as a transfer student, it's really hard for me to get involved with a lot of things because I obviously don't live on my campus, so I don't get to like stay there after a certain time. So it's hard for me to get involved, but I think if you're like living there, you can do pretty much anything as long as you know, are responsible, don't party too much. I mean, I don't party at all because obviously I don't live there, but even if I lived there, I wouldn't party because I'm not a party person like that. That's just not who I am. It's not the way that I think. I'm a very serious thinker. So I think you'll be fine, and I just want to say congratulations, because it's harder to get into a four-year university when you transfer than it is to just get into it as a freshman, because as a freshman class they just pick out as many people as they can and they bring them in. But if you're a transfer student and you get accepted to a four-year university, it's actually really hard. So if they chose you and you got in, congratulations. I mean, that's amazing. So yeah, I mean, you're more busy. I would say I'm a whole lot more busy than I am usually throughout the year, especially with the classes I take, because I'm a history minor, and like I said, a law study and justice major, so a lot of my classes focuses on heavy reading, so I'm always doing readings, which is why I'm not able to film as much as I would love to, and not able to, you know, make as many cool videos because I don't have enough time to really sit here and edit and film a whole lot. Only when I get like extended breaks, like just this week I did 2 midterms. So I'm kind of like, right now I'm on a little hiatus. I have a lot of reading to do. So like I said, as of right now, I'm on like a tiny bit hiatus of reading. As soon as I get done filming this, I'm going to film one more video, and then I'm going to edit it probably tomorrow, and I'm going to continue my reading because I'm super busy this week with reading, and I don't have enough time to do a lot of the things that I would like to do. I'm not a slacker, so I always do all of my reading. Like, I'm adamant about my reading. Not everybody is like that, and it's frustrating when you go to class and people don't know what you're talking about even though it was in the reading. So, you know, take a chill pill. There are a lot of slackers in college. I just say try to do your best, because I think that's all that matters. I mean, for me, grades are important because I am applying to graduate school, so of course they're going to look at my grades. And honestly, even if I wasn't applying to graduate school, I probably would still do or try just as hard as I do. So I hope this answers all of your questions, and if you have any more, just leave them down below and I will try to answer them. Like I said, my experience is tailored to myself. I don't live on campus, so my experience is a tad bit different, but it saves me money and it keeps me really focused. So that's pretty much it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you guys are, you know, if you're transferring, like I said, congrats, and you know, let me know how excited you guys are, how scared you guys are. It's really not that scary. Just make sure you have a map of the campus. Make sure you show up early so you know where all your classes are. That's what I always do every quarter because campus is big. I always show up early and I make sure I know where all my classes are like half an hour beforehand. I always show up early. I like knowing where my classes are so that way you don't get lost. Okay guys, so that is the end of this video like I already said. Okay, bye. Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a makeup kind of like collective haul. This is just stuff that I've gotten over the past couple of weeks.